Hey guys, I want to speak to you today about an AI-proof income stream that's guaranteed to pay if you do it right. Getting this income stream and creating it does require a shift in mindset. That income stream is for you to develop your own personal brand. This is something that you can absolutely start to do today, no matter what industry you're in or no matter your level of expertise. There's a big misconception that personal brands are for people who supposedly know what they're talking about. Today, I want to demystify that and give you all the tips you need to get started. Now, why is this super important? Your personal brand could lead to your next better paying job. It could lead to consulting opportunities, coaching opportunities, brand partnerships. It could lead to sponsorships, speaking opportunities. A lot of us want to try and get out into the world and get paid for speaking, for example. Your personal brand is almost that passport towards you being able to create all those opportunities. Now, the other reason why I really love the idea of personal brand is that your personal brand improves the older and more experience you get. So it's effectively an insurance, against the possibility of you losing your job one day, which for a lot of people is inevitable in different ways. So today's video is going to be structured in this way. I've got six different areas I want to cover. The first is, what is a personal brand? Second is, why is a personal brand the perfect side hustle? Third is examples of a strong personal brand. Number 4 is how to build a personal brand yourself, step by step. As somebody who doesn't have an audience, doesn't have a community, doesn't have any experience, I'm going to share 9 steps to help you. Then the 5th is, how do you deal with the objections? Oh, that fear, I don't want to put myself out there. What if people judge me? I'm going to cover all that in today's video. And then the final thing I'm going to do today is key takeaways and calls to actions. All right? If you love the sound of that, please do me a favor, literally over there somewhere, please hit the subscribe button, show some love, and feel free to check out the rest of the videos on our channel. And whilst you're there, please like the video if you're enjoying it. I'm going to jump straight in. First question is, what on earth is a personal brand? So you might hear this talked about a lot and buzzed around the place, but I'm going to tell you my definition because I only speak from experience, having done something. To me, a personal brand is effectively better than a digital CV. It's the way in which you're perceived in the world. Yeah, think about the world of work or the online world or the offline world. How are you perceived? When people mention your name, what comes top to mind? What areas of topics or expertise would people say you are most known for? Yeah. So for me, for example, it could be that my areas of expertise are that I talk about personal finances, financial freedom, financial independence. I talk about well-being. I talk about financial well-being. I talk about the economy and all these kind of areas, entrepreneurship and so on. Yeah. So for you, I want you to begin to think to yourself as I make today's video, what are your 5 core areas? Feel free to even pause this video right now and think, what are the 5 areas that I am known for or I might want to be known for? That effectively will begin to be what becomes your personal brand. And the more you talk about it in different spaces and different spheres, the more you become that person who is top of mind when people think about it. Okay? And of course, obviously, your personal brand will lead to multiple income streams and what have you. Yeah, so that's what is a personal brand covered. Now, why is a personal brand the perfect side hustle? Now, perfect is not really the right word necessarily, but why is it the ideal side hustle? I've got a number of points here. Number 1 is that it's a low cost thing to start. So unlike many side hustles that require upfront investment, personal branding is pretty much free to start. You don't need any fancy equipment. You can start with your phone. You can start with your laptop. Whatever you currently have right now is all you need to start. Number 2 is monetization opportunities are endless. I talked about this one earlier. Everything from your next job potentially to digital products being created, brand partnerships, speaking gigs, what have you, coaching. Number 3 is you get to leverage your existing skills. So I'm not saying to you, hey, you need to go and learn something new, acquire this new skill or whatever. I'm basically saying to you, do you know what? You already have this skill. And I'm saying to you, you already have the skill at the required skill level. I just need you to become more visible, to begin to talk about it so that the world begins to go, wow, I never thought of you from that perspective. They're not just looking at you as just an employee now, they're looking at you potentially as a thought a thought leader in a particular space. Number 4 is guaranteed audience growth. Yeah. So one thing I love about the idea of creating your own personal brand is that, you get to consistently create value. Gary Vaynerchuk has this thing where he's historically talked about this idea of jab, 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 right hook. All that jabbing means creating value, helping people to move forward, helping them to give them something to think about, helping them to get unstuck and move forward. And of course, by doing that, you begin to create a bit of a community of people who follow your work and people who go, wow, I really love what you do. I love what you stand for. I love your values. And I love how you're helping people. And as a result of that, you get to create a bit of an audience. And that carries on compounding and growing over time. Now that we've covered section 2, let's look at section 3. What are examples of a strong personal brand? Now, I want to use myself as an example, and I'm using this because I just know my own world, right? So I can talk about myself better than I can talk about anybody else's. Now, when I began this journey with Mary to create the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy, I didn't really know what a personal brand was. I started the Humble Penny with Mary because we wanted to inspire people, help them to become financially literate, but beyond just talking about it, help them to take action to gradually work towards becoming financially independent. And we wanted to tell the story that we'd been on ourselves, help people really get beyond, almost reclaim the narratives out there, the economic narratives that we have out there about ourselves, our culture, our communities, almost turn those on themselves and help people create other possibilities. Now, gradually, as a result of doing that, being really practical, being really authentic, being transparent, and being vulnerable a lot of the time, actually. I've cried on our channel many times. I've revealed things that, are very personal to me. Failures, successes, bits where I've tried stuff and haven't quite worked out. All those things have meant that over time, people have gotten to know our work, and because it's resonated with them in a deep way. So here, as an example, are the reasons why I think we've been able to build a strong personal brand. Here they are. Number 1 is a niche expertise. So we obviously talk about our area of expertise, as I mentioned earlier, personal finance, investing, wealth building, and all those things. Okay. Number 2 is consistency and trust. Yeah. So through our YouTube channel, our blog, our LinkedIn posts, Instagram, all those areas, we have consistently shared insights, shared valuable content that has helped to create engagement and build an audience over time. But consistency differs. You have to look at consistency from a different perspective as well, which is the consistency in demonstrating your values. A lot of the world we're living at the moment, people say one thing on one platform, then they go somewhere else and say something else. There is an inconsistency in their messaging, an inconsistency in their values. Whereas what we've done, I believe very successfully, and thank God we continue to do, is we've remained grounded in our values. And they've been the same on every platform, anywhere, whether it's online, offline, in real world, and what have you. The third is relatable storytelling is another thing. So we've leveraged personal stories, sharing relatable experiences. I've done that a lot about my career. Mary's done the same about her career. We talked about our investing journey. We talked about our family journey in various ways. And again, that vulnerability makes our work approachable and authentic. Number 4 is community and impact. So we actively engage with our communities. We've got communities here on YouTube, on various platforms, LinkedIn and what have you, as well as on our sister brand over at Financial Joy Academy. Doing that again creates, builds, helps people to become empowered over time, showing a commitment basically to us helping people develop their long-term financial growth and stability. Yeah, so that community and impact focus has been a key to success. Then the 5th bit is then media presence. If you look back at my childhood, ask my mom or my dad or my siblings, did they think that I'd become that person who might comfortably speak in front of a camera or even communicate as I do today? They would go, absolutely not. I grew up as a very shy person. I would never do anything like school plays or anything like that. I just didn't like anything that meant that I seemed like I was seeking attention, which I never am. However, media presence is very, very powerful, particularly if you have a very important message that's put out into the world to help people move forward, put out into the world to create value in the world. So media appearances will be the fifth area that's helped us develop a strong personal brand. Everything from interviews, everywhere really, whether it's BBC, ITV, Channel 5, or recently we're on the Channel 5 show, Rich Holiday, Paul Holiday, whether it's on our own blog, whether it's on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we have done all this just by ourselves, and very, very small help from freelancers who help us out with some of our admin tasks and what have you. So intentionally putting our message out into the world and being visible has helped us create, honestly, like opportunities beyond our wildest dreams. Like this month alone, and I'm not saying this to show off, I just want you to understand how powerful this is. We've worked with Netflix, Expedia, Amazon, Meta, Virgin Media. We've spoken on probably, these are all workshops in companies. Allen and Overy, which is a magic circle firm, and a bunch of others I've probably even forgotten. And we've spoken on multiple platforms. Only this weekend alone, I spoke on 5 different stages, from the UK Black Business Show to the Clean and Tidy Home Show and what have you. And the same has carried on throughout the whole year, all happening outside of our YouTube channel, outside of our Instagram platform or LinkedIn and what have you, but all enabled by a greater and a deeper focus on creating our personal brand and putting out the messaging weekly through through excellent content to help people move forward. That's the key. Provided you are really at the heart of what you're doing, it's about creating value for people. You know, as the saying goes with reciprocity, when you put good things into the world, good things end up flowing back. Okay, that's section 3. Section 4 is now then, how do you build a strong personal brand? I've pretty much given you the idea, but here they are in rapid bullet points. Okay, step 1 is to clarify your niche and unique value proposition. Okay, so identify your expertise or area of passion. So, and start by just talking about it. Let's say, for example, let's say you're an accountant. Your niche could be that you are simply simplifying tax strategies for small business owners. Just making that up. Yeah, and find your audience's pain points. You know, what are people interested in? What are they struggling with? What are they asking? What are the questions they're asking to Google and what have you? That's step 1. Step 2 is to then choose your platforms wisely. Wow, it's tempting to want to be on every platform, and as a beginner, we started with one. And that one was our blog over at thehumblepenny.com, and we still publish there even today. And then over time, you can then expand on what have you. I'd say here that LinkedIn and Instagram are great for professionals, for example, and YouTube and blogs also work well for longer form content. One thing I've personally found using all these platforms is that, you know, they have different audiences. So LinkedIn, for example, has budget holders, decision makers, managers, and, you know, C-level people and, you know, that sort of thing. These people are always on the lookout for people who can offer value to their teams or their employees or, you know, what have you. So I personally get a lot of value from creating on somewhere like YouTube as well as on LinkedIn and Instagram because they have different audiences. I'll give you a really practical example. I did a post recently about Mary and I going to Amazon to deliver a financial joy workshop, which was phenomenal, by the way. And I'll link to below somewhere so you can go and watch the reel if you want to watch the post on LinkedIn. But what was really interesting was looking at the insights in that post. It was the most, like, I've never seen a post go so crazy before in when I looked at the stats on the post, within 1 week of posting that post, it had reached about 1.5 million people. 1.5 million people on LinkedIn from one post. One post. Just imagine that. Even if 1% of the people who saw that post were decision makers, it will be very significant for the Humble Penny as well as Financial Joy Academy, and more specifically for Mary and I in terms of opportunity potential. Okay. So that's number 2, was choose your platforms wisely. Step 3 then is to develop a content strategy. What do I mean here? You might be someone watching this and you might be thinking, I don't know a thing about creating content. Content basically means what message you have for the world and what do you want to say to the world to add value. Yeah, it could be that you made a post, you wrote something, you shared a quote, you made a video, you created a graphic, you know, what have you. The key is to find a mixture of content types because people have different learning styles. Some people love short videos, some people love infographics, some people love a post with a picture attached to it and what have you. Yeah, but the key is to be consistent. You know, like for example, on LinkedIn, I aim to post about once a week as a minimum. On YouTube, we aim to post about once a week. On Instagram, we aim to post about 2 times a week and what have you. But what that does is you remain ever present and you remain ever top of mind in people's thoughts and ideas. And when the opportunity comes, you are one of the first few people they might think about for those opportunities. Step 4 is engage with your audience. Very important to start engaging. If you're someone who's completely new to this, you know, when people post things on, say, LinkedIn, for example, or YouTube, just engage, but engage positively. Don't be like these keyboard warriors who go online and just aim to just cause problems for people. Just be kind, be real, be authentic. Don't go to ChatGPT to figure out what you're going to say. I want you to just pause. If you have something to say, just ask yourself, what do I want to say and what value does it give the world? Yeah, that's a very important almost check before you put something out into the world. Just think about that and then post it. Don't overthink it though. Post it and post it from a good place, from a place of positive intention. Okay. Step 5 is then to leverage your existing networks. So you probably have existing contacts, and those contacts could be on, you know, Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever. It could be on your WhatsApp, for example. Begin to let those people know what you do. Let them see what you're talking about. And I'll come to objections in the end, by the way, because I know some of what you might be thinking in the back of your mind is, oh, I don't want to be judged. What if they think negatively? What if I don't sound like an expert? I know all that stuff. And I'll have some words to those effects. As part of leveraging your network, also ask for testimonials where you can. Ask people to endorse you if they can. It's funny, this weekend we met, we went to an event and we were very fortunate to have met some really insightful people. One of the people we met on the day was Stephen Bartlett, who runs the Diary of a CEO, among many other things that he does. And one thing he really said that really stood out to me in his talk was that you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the people who raised you to tell the world what value you bring. You know, what he effectively was saying is that self-promotion is not a bad thing. Although culturally it might look like it's a bad thing, but as long as you're promoting from a place of value, it's always received very well. Step 6 is then to document your journey. Yeah, so share your progress. Even if you're starting at point zero is okay. Yeah, let the world know, you know, you're on this journey, you're not perfect, you don't know it all, you're just sharing things as you're coming across them. And please remember to remain authentic. Like, don't try to sound like everybody else, because there's only one you. Nobody can ever replace you. Your views, your voice, your story, nobody can ever replace that. So sound exactly just as you do. Actually, to that point, I wanted to just say something real quick. I remember when we started Humble Penny, we came up with a tagline, create financial joy. And it's interesting, you look at the back over there, our book, Financial Joy, 7 years later since we started the Humble Penny, has gone on to become a book that people have in their homes, become a Sunday Times bestseller. But when we created the Humble Penny and we called our tagline Create Financial Joy, Financial Joy wasn't interesting. It wasn't cool. It wasn't regarded as anything like buzzy or trendy. But we knew what voice and what messaging we wanted, what aspiration we wanted for ourselves and for the people who wanted to follow our work. And it's interesting how that over time, that insistence on being authentic has remained and stuck and has gone on to become something really much bigger than we ever imagined. My point there is essentially is speak from your own voice, because no one can ever replace that. No one can ever replicate that. It's what makes you unique and makes you stand out in the world. Step 7 is to then build authority gradually. Okay, guest appearances and contributions, that sort of thing. Just, it's a gradual thing. It was like, I use the example of a drip, like a drip in like a hospital. It just drips, drip, drip, drip. It's so slow. It's so slow. My point is, you will not have success overnight. But if you are persistent, if you are consistent, not just in content, but in your value that you put into the world, good things await. Okay, step 8 is to leverage testimonials and social proof. If you are getting people engaging with your stuff, let other people know about it. If people come across your stuff and they're commenting, share the comments. Like if you go on our Instagram and stories, I'm always sharing like amazing comments or book testimonials and that sort of thing that people are sharing. what that does is it's showing people that people really appreciate your work. It's not a lot of time that people tell you that your work is incredible, even though they might think it, they just don't tell you. Which is why I love meeting people face to face, because they're like, wow, they tell you like for real how your work has helped them. Yeah. So in this journey of building your personal brand, my point here is leverage testimonials and social proof. And then step 9, and the final point is stay patient and focused. Okay. Avoid quick results thinking, because you will not get results overnight. If things don't go viral, it's okay for things not to go viral. The key is to just be consistent, to learn and keep adapting. Okay, section 5, I want to now deal with your objections. Objection number 1, I don't want to put myself out there. You're already out there. Of course you are. Like, I can find you probably online, like somewhere. There's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Like, most people are out there in some capacity. That's why I like to remind people. And that's okay, because you are showing up with a level of authenticity. You're showing up, sharing what you want to share. You're not sharing what you don't want to share. Yeah. So for example, I don't even share 1% of my actual life. Yeah. It might look like I do, but I don't. So I focus on the topics I'm talking about, and then where I need to, I might inject certain stories that are personal, or case studies, or research, or data, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So don't worry about putting yourself out there. The reason you're worrying about it is because you're fearing that you might, you're worried about privacy. Again, just share what you need to share, so that deals with privacy. And then if you're worried about other people, which is going to be my next point, you're worrying about what others might think. What I'd say to that objection is think of what your work as thought leadership. Okay, come at it from a place of value, come at it from a place of service. Like my work right now, what I'm doing right now is I'm serving you. I'm serving many people, hundreds, thousands potentially, who might watch this video. And I see this work as service, which is why I take it very seriously. And I show up consistently. So if you see your work as service, then you shouldn't really worry about what others are doing, because there's actually a much bigger cost by you not showing up. Think about it that way. There's the world is missing out on so much because you're worrying so much about what other people think. And the final objection is perfectionism. You might have an idea, you might feel buzzed up, you might want to share, but then you're like, yeah, it doesn't sound that great. It doesn't sound buzzy. What if people don't like it? You've got this perfectionism. My answer is progress over perfection. Yeah. For example, I'm making this video as a real life example. I'm about to go out and have a meeting somewhere. But I said to Mary, you know what? You do the thumbnail, babe, and I'll do the video very quickly. We're not going to edit it. We're just going to put it out. That's a perfect example. I'm just showing up. I'm offering you value. My goal is value per minute. I'll just give you lots of value per minute, and then I move on. Yeah, and I share it and I put it into the world and let it do its work. Okay, that's section 5 dealt with, and the final bit is now on a recap. So my point here is this: personal branding is not just about being known. It's a very important point. I don't care about fame. It's not about your fame or what have you. It's ultimately about impact. It's about results. It's about helping people move forward, and a big part of that is that it then creates a bit of influence for you, because you might be seen as a thought leader, and as a big part of that, it then leads to opportunities or more income, or other things that might then open up, things that are not even income related, but are opportunities that are worth a lot more than money, or even could lead to really powerful relationships, because you've attracted people. That's what it does. It attracts people to your world, people who are very interesting in the world, fellow thought leaders, and people who could enable other opportunities in your life. But I want to hear from you guys. If you've got to this part of the video, I want to actually know, I want to drop an emoji in the comment section. And the thing I want to drop an emoji for is maybe drop a laptop emoji. Yeah, drop a laptop emoji in the chat, which for me just means that basically you're working your way on trying to create your personal brand. Okay, so drop that emoji in the chat just so I know you got to this part of the video. But I want to know from you, is creating your personal brand something you've been thinking about? And if you've got any objections related to creating your personal brand, what are those objections? Jump in the comments and let me know. And then, look, I'm here to serve you and serve the people who watch our channel and follow our work. So where I can, I'm here to answer your questions, tell you things that people might not share with you. I'm happy to kind of open up and give you the insights to help you move forward. So don't feel afraid or hold back from commenting. Actually, just get in the comments let me know what your thoughts are on this topic of creating your personal brand. And I'd be more than happy to come back to you, okay? And by the way, if you've not hit the subscribe button already, would really appreciate it. Please take a moment, literally takes a second, over there somewhere, hit the subscribe button, and whilst you can, please like the video. And finally, if you'd like a video to watch next on literally this topic of things you might want to invest your time into, I've got an incredible video here that became very popular called 8 investments you must have by the age of 45. Head over and watch it next. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care and bye for now.